Hey leaders, Brody here, coming to you again by video. Really excited to be talking to you at the end of our first year of using a new curriculum and entering into a lot of new pieces to the ministry to children on Sunday mornings. Thank you so much for coming along for this experiment and this process, and I feel like we are seeing some significant spiritual traction in the lives of our kids. One of the things that we did at the beginning of the year was we talked about how we were going to be a resource church for David C. Cook and this curriculum called True. And what we realized early on is there are definitely some things that we could contribute. And David C. Cook has gotten back to us and said that we are one of the leading churches in giving feedback and helping them shape some of the pieces of this curriculum that they have. And so I'm excited to say that we are an important part of what's going to be given to many, many churches across the country, and you've been an important part of helping that take shape. So thank you so much for your input. Thank you so much for your investment in the lives of these kids, and I hope that that continues. We've been asked to carry on with this curriculum for another year, and I was more than happy to say yes. I believe that the process of having these kids anticipate and having them worship together and then hear the big God story and then respond, those are vital pieces to the spiritual growth of our children, and we're going to continue that. Next year we get a whole new year of going through the Bible, and even this summer we're going to continue with the character of Paul and others about what happened after Jesus left, what's been the result of Jesus and all the kept promises, and we're going to continue into the life of Paul this summer through Summer Quest. And then next year we're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to go through the big God story again with a new golden thread, and I'm excited to say that we get to do that together. One of the things that I want to give you the chance to do here at the end of the year, though, is give feedback. We've been asking for feedback all year long, and we'd like to ask for it one more time. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Some of you have said a lot, some of you haven't had time to say very much, and so we want to hear what you have to say so that we can move forward and improve as much as possible. During about the next week and a half, you're going to get an email that's going to have a survey from SurveyMonkey that kind of asks a few questions and will give us an idea of some of the areas that we need to improve on, some of the areas that we really want to keep the same, or some that we want to keep the foundation and we want to build on that foundation and make it even better. And so please take the time to fill that out. We're also going to do 2 base camp experiences. If you remember last summer, we did base camp as a way of sharing the changes that were coming about. This year, our base camp experiences are saying, where is our foundation? How is the curriculum working, and what are the good places and what are the places we need to tweak? And so the first base camp experience is going to be from 12:15 until 1:30 on May 23rd, which is the last weekend of Trek. So May 23rd, 12:15 to 1:30. We're going to take an hour and 15 minutes to look at the positives, also look at some areas we really need to improve on, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some decisions that have already been made about how we're going to move forward. So I want to invite you to that. Lastly, on this short video, I want to invite you to something that we're doing that is new. Normally, we've done an appreciation and a get-together for Trek leaders at the end of the ministry year, which would be that Sunday, the last Sunday of Trek. We would do it after that. This year, we're changing that. We're doing a base camp experience, a feedback experience, but our celebration, our appreciation is actually going to stretch ministry-wide. We found that we have a lot of ministries that are ministering and doing programs for elementary kids. And that includes Upward Basketball, and that includes Camp Vertical, and that includes Trek, and that includes Boys Club and Girls Club, and many others. And so what we're going to do is we want to get together as a group of people, a bigger whole, that says we're ministering to elementary kids, and the staff and the church wants to say thank you to those leaders as a whole. So please set aside the evening of June 8th. It's a Tuesday evening, and we're excited to be able to hopefully be outside. Please feel free to bring your families. We're going to have activities for the kids. We're going to have a cookout. We're going to spend some time just mingling together as leaders and talking about what God has done in and amongst our kids. I think it'll be a great time to connect with leaders from the bigger picture and understand that even though we are every weekend, that we are one piece of a big whole that is really telling the gospel of Jesus to a bunch of elementary kids in this area. And so we're excited to be able to invite you to that. Please set aside June 8th. Once again, let me say finally, I really appreciate all that you've done this year, the feedback that you've given, the investment that you've given to your kids, and the smile with which you've done it with many times. And so please know that you are valued very highly by not only me and the staff, but by the leadership at Elmbrook Church and the families. I continue to get comments about what an impact you're having. Please continue to give that your full effort. Please know that God takes what you do and He makes it much bigger than any of us can imagine. Can't wait to see you Sunday. Have a good week.